All right, y'all, what's going on? It's your host, Industrial Dave, and welcome to 6 to 6. You see the title of the episode? Welcome to the nuclear industry. How do you get in? What is a nuclear power plant? You guys don't know? Well, listen, I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to tell you how to get in. Now, the best way, like I always say, you got to get in a union hall, particularly when you're dealing with the nuclear side. That is going to be your easiest way. Now, obviously, you can also apply for the nuclear plant. Now, you're like, well, how do I even find it? Okay. Now, I know it's going to sound funny, but a lot of people don't think about this. Whatever city that you're watching from or whatever, look at your power bill. If you're in Southern California, you've got Southern California Edison. If you're in the Midwest, like in Kansas or something, you got KCP&L. And out here in Virginia, they have Dominion. So what you want to do is you want to look at your electric bill and take whatever name of the company it is and put power plant behind it and Google it. You know what I'm saying? Just Google search whatever it is, the name of the power bill, but put power plant, right? That's one way that you can find it. And then two, you could just Google nuclear plants. Believe it or not, you really can. You can literally just Google nuclear plants and go to the website and just look. So that is one way that you can get in the nuclear industry. Now, this is going to be a two-part episode because there's a lot of information when it comes to this, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the gems that you might miss. So I'm going to try my best not to miss anything. So I'm going to start with the bare basics, okay? All right. Trying to get in the nuclear field, right? You can go through the union hall and go through the apprenticeship. Now, the hard part is having a background. Like this is just one sector that is extremely picky and tough. They are picky on DUIs, they're picky on felonies, and specifically, as funny as it sounds, they're very picky on if you have a driver's license or not. I know, I'm just saying it, but they will find out and they dig up every single thing that you can think of, and especially if you've never been, right? So another way that you can look for this, you might have heard this term before. In the nuclear industry, we call it a red badge. So to get in most nuclear plants, you need what's called a red badge. Now, it's not a physical badge that they give you. You're going to be logged into a system across the entire country. Most of it is considered pads, but you're going to be in this system countrywide. And basically, they just type your social in and you will pop up at any nuclear facility in the country. But to get that badge, depending on how old you are, you literally have to go back, I believe 7 years or towards your 18th birthday, depending on which one is sooner, right? So most people are going to go back to 7 years. So what does that mean? The nuclear plant is going to ask you everywhere you've lived in 7 years, everywhere you've worked in 7 years, and your family, mainly your mother and your father. You're going to have to put their first and last names on the application. The application is usually anywhere from, depending on if you travel or even if you just have a regular job, you're looking at somewhere around maybe 25 pages, 36 kind of ish or whatever. And it has to be thorough, like no blank spaces, no nothing. And that's just part of it. That's called the PHQ. I don't know what it is. It's questionnaire or something, right? It's PHQ. But that's one of the items that you're going to have to fill out. Now, you also are going to have to do all kinds of computer work. I'm telling you right now, it's not like when you're in high school where you can just kind of talk to somebody and say, hey, like, you got the answer to number 4. Like, no. The nuclear industry is extremely difficult, and they're extremely strict when it comes to paperwork on the computer. Like, you have to pass with either 85s. Some of the courses you have to pass with an 80. Yeah, so most of the courses you have to pass with an 85, and it's all online stuff, and it's gonna be difficult if you don't know anything about radiation, or if you've never been in that field. So you're gonna have to pay attention. And if you even get that far, you're pretty much doing computer work on the computer for about 5 days straight, 8 hours a day, right? That's what all your orientation is and stuff like that. And you also have a psych test. Most of the psych tests that I've taken in a nuclear plant range anywhere from 300 to 500 questions, and it's usually like a yes or no. And I couldn't even Google the questions, man, but I remember a few select questions that they would ask you on a questionnaire. They would say things like, do you like animals? How much do you like animals? Do you love animals? You know what I mean? I remember they said, do you have suicidal thoughts? Do you like to go hunting? Do you like guns? Do you love your mother? I remember there was a question on there that asked me if I had sex, and I'm like, how dare you? Like, of course I really don't. I really don't. But they did ask that question, man. I'm serious. They really did. They asked you questions about your sexual life. And if any of you guys are on there watching who's been through it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's very annoying. And this is also another reason why people don't want to get into this field, is because they can't get past all the tests. Like, some of them are not easy. I remember one time I was trying to hire in at a nuke, and it took me years to get in, man. It was just, and mostly it was just kind of like my doing. You know, I was being a bad boy. I was young. I was reckless, and for a long time I rode around the country with no L's, man. I just did. Just dumb, man. Just dumb, right? And so I'm trying to hire in at this nuclear plant, and I mean, they go step and step and step, right? So I apply, I come in, and they're like, okay, do you have any criminal charges? No. All right, well, it says here that you have something pending. Oh, I had a ticket that I didn't pay. Oh, you didn't pay the ticket? Why you didn't pay the ticket? Well, because I was out of town. Well, why didn't you go to court? Why is your license suspended? Oh, your license is suspended because you didn't go to court. Well, how much is the fine? How did you get here? Did you drive to work? They will literally grill every single question to figure out why you don't have a driver's license. And they really will find out if you drove to work or not, because it's just that strict. One time I was so close to getting my red badge at the nuke, and I was going through this process, and I was trying to hide it, but they just dig so much. And I was hiring in at a nuclear plant in Kansas, and they ended up finding out that I had a failure to appear, right? I had a failure to appear in California, and I really wanted this job. So I'm like, dang, man, I have to go take care of this. I got to go take care of this ticket. So I'm driving without a license, right? So I'm in my SRT8, and I'm smashing down this highway in Kansas, not a care in the world. Boop, boop. The cherries pull up behind me. So I'm like, dang, okay. So I pull over. I'm thinking I'm slick, man. And I got 2 driver's licenses, but they don't know that. So I give them my Illinois license, and they run it. It's a state trooper. The state is a little different than the county. They can run anything. So the state trooper runs my driver license, comes back to the car. He says, I'm good to go. I'm like, cool. He tells me to slow it down. I'm like, all right. And I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, good. So I hop back in the ride, take off or whatever. Got the cruise control set this time. Now, mind you, where am I going? I am literally on my way to another city to catch a flight the next day to fly to LA to handle my tickets and my court stuff. I mean, 90 seconds later, it was crazy. I mean, literally 90 seconds later, I'm looking in the rear view, and all I see is dust and red and blue lights. And I'm like, this is not happening. Comes over the intercom, pull over. Shut your car off. I'm like, oh, snap, man. What's going on? Turn the car off and everything. He walks up to the window, and he says, hey, man, you came up suspended in California. Clink, clink. That's what happened, man. Puts me in the front seat, and I'm like, dude, this is not happening. I am literally on my way to another state to take care of this, to another city. I had a flight to catch. I missed everything. They take me to jail. Let me tell you, this how small the place was. They locked me up. I'm the only one in the jail. It was ridiculous. My bond was $100, whatever. They locked me up. I ended up flying out. I flew out of Wichita, went to California, and then I was done. I didn't even think I paid it in full. I just like put enough money down to take care of it, right? I'm trying to get a job. And so I take care of that. I fly back like 2 days later. I fly all the way back to Kansas. I go get my car. My car's in the impound. Just, oh man, just a nightmare. Just everything's going on. And I ended up not getting a job because they just had enough of me. They're like, you know what? We're going to consider you irresponsible. And I didn't get my red badge, man. So I ended up having to go to another job. And so I think I ended up staying. Now, they did pay me, right? They did pay me for my time there. I think I was there for about 2 weeks. So, after a while, they're just not going to deal with you. But you have to be extremely clean and thorough to get into a nuclear plant. Like, there aren't any shortcuts to this. Like, this is just one place where you're not going to fool anybody. No matter how slick you think you are, the nuclear plants it's top tier. Like, they got real security guards. Their security guards are walking around with M5s and M16s and AR-15s and all that stuff. Like, that's how they literally walk around. Like, they've got signs everywhere that says authorized to use deadly force. Like, it's a real place to work at. But if you can get in, it is beautiful. I mean, it is a hell of a certification to have, which is called your red badge. If you can get your red badge, man, you are gold. Now, I hope that you'll tune in to my second video and I'll get a little bit deeper into the details on other ways to get in and all that stuff. And I'm pretty much just trying to give you a little preview about the nuclear industry, right? So again, if you want to get into the nuclear industry, you have to you got to be squeaky clean. And even if you're not squeaky clean, you have to at least tell the truth. You got to tell the truth. No matter if you have felonies, whether it's drug trafficking or, any of the other bad stuff, you have to just be honest with them. And if you are honest, it's pretty much kind of like a personal basis where they'll say, you know what, okay, we understand. We appreciate you being honest. We'll go ahead and we're going to pass you through and we'll wait for your background. And backgrounds in the nukes, if you've been traveling or if you've lived different places, you're looking at anywhere from 4 days to 6 weeks waiting on a background check. Now, in the nuclear industry, they will pay you, right? So there's been plenty of times where I had to wait on a background and I was literally just sitting in a room with my phone watching movies for 6 weeks, waiting on my background to come through. And that's not unheard of. It's nothing magical. Like, they're all like that. Every last one of them are like that, where they will have you wait. And usually those type of places that have you wait, they pretty much need a lot of people. That's why most of the time they prefer people that already have the red badge, but every case isn't like that, right? So I believe that's everything. So obviously that's a cool little edit part, right? So tune in to part 2 of the nuclear industry. You guys, welcome to 6 to 6. I'm your host, Industrial Dave. Stay tuned for part 2.